Video number 126, multiplying polynomials. This is definitely a beginning of pre-calculus course material. This is a lot of intermediate college algebra class, some algebra 2 from high school, a lot of action here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Multiplying polynomials. What you'll have here is this monomial, 8 times this binomial here. So 8 times 7x, 56x, 8 times 11, 88. Bring down the minus sign, you're all done. Next one, negative 7b, that's a monomial. Binomial, 12b squared minus 4b. Multiply those, negative 84, b to the third, because you have one b and two more b's, therefore b cubed. Negative 7 times minus 4 plus 28b squared. All right, next one, multiplying two binomials. What we're going to do is distribute the 2. That'll give you 14x and 22. Then distribute the 3x, 21x squared, 33x. Right here. Middle terms, add those two terms together. You'll get negative 19. Bring the 22 down, bring the 21. You're all set. Another thing you may see this taught as or written as is FOIL, first, outside, inside, last. Otherwise, you can just use the distributive property twice. Okay. Next one. Binomial times a binomial. Same way. Distribute the 5, you get your 60w squared, your 20. Distribute the w, you get your 12w cubed, and your 4w. None of these terms are like terms, but we do rewrite it in descending order. Descending order means highest degree first. So this is w cubed, w squared, w, and then w to the 0th. All right. Next one, we're multiplying a binomial times a trinomial. Now, how many terms are here? 2. How many terms are here? 3. So when you do your multiplication in your next step, there's going to be a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms to account for these 2 times each of those 3. Okay? So there's your 2x cubed, 7x squared, and 2x. Okay? 12, 42, 12. Just make sure you got the exponents correct for the variables, and you should be all set. We end up with some like terms. There's a squared, there's a squared, there's an x, there's an x. Add them together, negative 19, 44. Done. Next one, a squared times a binomial and another binomial. Now, what a lot of people are tempted to do is they're tempted to distribute the a squared. Save that for last. Remember, multiplication has what's called the commutative property. 5 times 2 times 3 is 30. Now, however you slice it up. 15 times 2, 6 times 5, or 10 times 3. Doesn't matter. Commutative means it can be commute either way. It's still the same distance. And multiplication has that commutative property. So what we do is we multiply these two binomials. 25a squared minus 81. What you'll notice here is when you distribute the negative 9 into the 5, that's a negative 45. Distribute here, that's a positive 45. So therefore the middle terms are not there. That would have been like in this situation, the middle terms were the same except one was minus and one was plus. Then at the end you distribute the a squared. That becomes 25a to the 4th, 81a squared. Done. Next one. You have a binomial, quantity squared. That's how this is pronounced. 6x minus 7 quantity, this quantity will be squared. All right? So in other words, add this together or subtract it together first, then square, you're all done. Now, how do you do this? In order to use this squared, we need to actually, the definition of squared is to take the number times itself. Then we end up with a FOIL situation just like we did in the previous problem. Here, you just do like we did the FOIL or distributive property. You have a negative 42, another negative 42, therefore negative 84x. That's a positive 49. Done. Next one, 10a cubed plus 4b quantity squared. Same way, separate. You have two binomials. The first term is 100a to the 6th. Then you have 40, another 40. So you have 40a cubed b, 40a cubed b. That's a total of 40. 40, that's a total of 80 a cubed b's. All right? Then you'll have 16b squareds and 100a to the 6th. What do you do when you multiply? Add the exponents. All right. Next one. We have, now this is interesting. What you have here is a binomial minus 7. That same binomial, excuse me, this should actually be written like this. Here, let's rewrite this here so you guys can see what's going on. I think you guys should be okay. A little bit of a mistype, whatever you want to, typo as they call it, whatever you want to call it. Now, you're taking this binomial minus 7, that same binomial plus 7, and we're multiplying those two together. So you could argue that this is one term, that's another term. This is the same term, that's another term. You're separated with a minus and a plus. Well, if you do FOIL, first you'll get 4a plus 8 quantity squared, okay? Right? Then you do outside, you'll get plus 7 times 4a plus 8. Inside, you'll get minus 7 times 4a plus 8. And then last, you'll get minus 49. Well, look what happens here. Do you really need to distribute the 7s? This is going to be a plus 28. That's going to be minus 28. It's going to cancel. Plus 56, minus 56, cancel. So you're left with this term and this one. Okay? Then we're going to do FOIL on that. Square that out. Okay? Bring the 49 down. Combine these guys together. Whew, plus 15. You're all set. Alright? Next one. A binomial quantity cubed. Not a big deal. List all three of them ready to multiply out. Multiply these two together. You get your 9. You get your 30. You get a 30. You get 100. So 9x squared, 30x, 30x, 100. Whew, 60x. Then distribute the 3, 27. Distribute the 3, 180. Distribute the 3, 100. 300. Now we're done with the 3. Distribute the 10, 90. Whew, 600. Whew, 1,000. Bam. Okay. Add everything together, like terms. And we are all set. Questions or concerns, send me an email. Good times. Talk to you later.